One of the more polarising figures in recent history in southern Africa was Robert Mugabe. He's passed away now, but as probably the most famous man in the country I've now moved on to, Zimbabwe, I thought I'd go and see if I could find a souvenir, a t-shirt, a poster, a hat or something with his picture or name on it. So, Muttonistas, join me today in Harare at the Borrowdale Racecourse market for the hunt for Robert Mugabe. So, as I said in the introduction, we're at the Borrowdale Racecourse market. Now, this looks a reasonably upmarket kind of place, but I believe it is a place where local vendors every Saturday morning come and bring their stuff and people buy whatever they have to offer. So we're going to go to another market as well. We'll see what they've got here, maybe a little snack, maybe a little souvenir, and if we can't find what we want here, hopefully we will at the next place. And of course, one thing about African arts and crafts is that they're always very colourful. We even have drunken zebras.
Yes.
Did I say zebra? I'm English, not American. Drunken zebra. They're all legless on their backs. Nuts. And if you want to become a millionaire or billionaire, Zimbabwe is the place to go. Not only can you get banknotes and fridge magnets with the banknotes, they have cups, bookmarks, and what is this, a mirror? Okay. Okay, and the cups?
The cups, they are $5.
Okay.
Yes. And this one is, the one left I'm putting for a special price is $15.
Okay.
And the tray was the 25 is $20.
Okay.
These are the two products left now. They are on special offer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we may well come back after we've had a walk around.
That's fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And some pretty colourful fruit and vegetables here. And given the weather here is hot and quite damp, I can see how they grow things pretty easily. So what are they doing here? Tasty samosas. Yes, okay, I'll have a taste. What is this? Rissoles. Okay, rissoles I had a lot of in Portugal, so I'm guessing Angola or Mozambique has an influence in this, yeah? Good again, really good. Okay. Okay. Sweet and sour pickle, again, good. Quite a sharp tang to it. Now I'm going to have a couple of spring rolls with some peri-peri. What sort of pickle is this? Vegetable pickle. Is it an Indian style? Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to pick it up.
Okay. That, for me, is quite similar to the lime pickle that you'll see in British Indian restaurants. However, this has a bit more about it. A bit more spice, a bit more zest, and of course, a little bit more of the sour qualities that lime and various other fruits might bring to it. Okay, and down here we have pickled pineapple, a pineapple pickle. Yes, she's going to be famous. She's frying up my spring rolls in the background. I'm really looking forward to these. So, as always, the rule Muttonistas with street food items, if you can see it being cooked freshly to order at a hot temperature, it is fine. If it's been standing around all day, not fine. This has just been cooked. So I was going to go for the piri piri. I thought, no, I've had that in South Africa a ton of times. I've had it in Portugal a ton of times. I haven't had this mango pickle anywhere before, so I'm going to have these spring rolls with a bit of mango pickle. So could you put a bit of mango pickle in the bag for me? So here we go. That is just the ticket for a mid-morning snack. Crisp, fresh, tasty, and I'm glad I went for the pickle because it just adds that sharp zing that's needed to bring the spring roll to life. Jet pressed, olives. And of course for me, a market isn't really a market if you can't buy food to eat when you're actually there. Monopoly. So it seems there's a bit of an Indian influence at this market. 2 places now I've seen selling Indian snacks, and some of the wares on offer here appear to be sort of home-cooked cakes, pastries, breads, sauces. And of course, you all know me, one thing I'm delighted to be able to get now is an espresso. It's been too long since my last one. So I will for sure be able to tell you viewers whether this is any good or not. Yeah, that is pretty decent espresso. Very light roast, bit nutty, but you know, just what the doctor ordered at 10 in the morning. So there we are, Muttonistas. With the handing over of $9, I've become not just a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. 100 million. Just a pity that going from $10 to 9 was my final answer. I should have done a bit better with the bargaining there. Anyway, we didn't find anything with Uncle Bob on it there, so we're going to try another market and see if we can do better there. Onwards and upwards, Muttonistas. Okay, folks, on to the next place. We have moved on to Avondale Flea Market. That sounds like it might be more the sort of place where we might find something to do with Uncle Bob, but I believe even if we can't, we might be able to squeeze in a visit to a downtown market afterwards. But let's see whether they've got anything for us here. So the emphasis at this market seems to be on clothing, shoes, jeans, polos, or not polos, hoodies rather, tracksuits. So anyway, I'm being guided today by Michael, who has been explaining how this area works. It does seem to me that what I'm looking for is actually rather hard to find. Would stuff with pictures of Mr. Mugabe been commonplace when he was alive?
Yes, when he was alive, you could definitely find stuff everywhere. But ever since, well, I don't know how to put it, if he was overthrown, but it seems to be a scarcity.
Yeah. It's as if the memory of the man has disappeared without trace. Well, here's a stall selling hats. Looks more like caps to me, not my thing. And funnily enough, the humble beret does not seem to be a popular style of headwear here in Zimbabwe. So Muttonistas, we're getting warm here. T-shirts with Zimbabwe, Africa, the Zimbabwean flag, the national coat of arms, but not the man we're looking for, unfortunately. And yet again, folks, African art is so colourful. I'm not really an art collector, or I'm not really the most receptive person to art, but some of this is pretty stunning, I have to say. And a depiction of village life. Again, a lot of depictions of wildlife, which I haven't seen yet, but hope to in the next few days. Those drums look very interesting. I'm not quite sure what sound they make. Handmade drums. Wow, that's a nice one. Shows where Zimbabwe is on the map. Do you have a T-shirt with a picture of Mr. Mugabe? No. Difficult to find, I think. Well, again, the t-shirts and the designs are pretty stunning, but unfortunately, I don't know what size they have. The one thing I'm looking for is something with Mr. Mugabe on it, and we cannot find it, but we'll keep looking. Good, thank you. So a lot of the stalls here are actually selling kind of similar things. The t-shirts look pretty good, but I have to say $18 seems a little high for me. And I suppose you do bargain it down, but I mean, what do you bargain it down to? I mean, in a supposedly very cheap country, even $10 seems a lot for a t-shirt. Hello, football shirts. Old Manchester United, Chelsea, PSG, and do we have here Manchester City? Although I do have to say Manchester United seem a little bit too popular for my liking here. There were some pretty nice souvenirs there, I will admit, but not really what we were looking for. Maybe this is a wild goose chase, but we have one more little ace up our sleeve, a downtown area of Harare, so Michael's going to take me somewhere where we think there might be a better chance of finding Uncle Bob. So before seeing whether we have to head downtown, we've stopped at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe. Even if our luck isn't in here, I'm sure there'll be some interesting artwork we can look at. So Muttonistas, we finally got a result. I didn't think the gallery was going to be a place where we would get one, but their bookstore had a little gem on offer. Let me show you it. And I've had a flick through. This book is packed full of goodies, so we finally found Uncle Bob. We might have another little bag of goodies coming, or a goodie coming, and a friend of a friend is coming up with maybe a poster, a portrait, t-shirt or something. Let's see what he's got in store for us. So Muttonistas, it wouldn't be a mutton vlog without a bit of food, and local Zimbabwean food is a bit of a mystery to me. So we have come to Gava's at the Belgravia Sports Club in Harare to have a quick local lunch. I'm really looking forward to this. It's not often you get me trying a cuisine for the first time, but this is definitely the case here. I like the look of the menu because there's plenty of stuff on here that I've never heard of before. A quick peek at the menu, folks. I doubt many of you will recognise a lot of the stuff on here. Something from Pakistan that was popular, goat, that's available here. We've actually gone up here for the maguru, the beef tripe. I do like my offal, and it's very much a local favourite. And we've gone for the pork bones, which is served with sadza, I think. And we've also gone for the burrows and sadza. And let's see whether the burrows is the same, better, different or worse to those I had in South Africa. Okay, this is exciting, Muttonistas. The food has arrived, and it is always a pleasure when the dish has arrived and you haven't a clue what you're going to eat. Well, okay, I do because I ordered it, but in terms of the flavour I'm going to receive, I don't know. So, Muttonistas, we have on the table, I can see some beef tripe on the right. I can see some goat. I'm pretty confident that that circular bone is something to do with goat. And I think this big rib-looking joint in the middle might be the pork bone and oxtail. We have some sort of beans and something that looks like kale to me. I'm not quite sure what the vegetable is. I'd put my money on it being kale. Michael, can you tell us what the staple is here?
Well, it's basically called sadza, and it's a combination of grinded mealy meal that is boiled over a stipulated period of time, and it's stirred and it becomes a little bit hard, a little bit soft, but it's mostly consumed while hot.
Okay, this is going to be a first for me, so I'm going to use a knife and fork, not my hands, and I'm going to get stuck in. Okay, yeah. So we have to dip this in the beans or the sauce. I'll try some with the sauce. I would say, on its own, it doesn't actually have a great deal of flavour. It doesn't have an unpleasant flavour or anything, but I'd say the consistency is somewhere halfway between potato and bread. That's the best way I can describe it. Wheaty mashed potato, although that's obviously not what it actually is. Anyway, time to try the meat. It's goat time. So, that was very tender. It was served in a rich tomato gravy, but it wasn't spicy. I have a suspicion that there is a little something to rectify that problem on hand. Ah, here we are.
Most people will have.
Okay. Let's try the spicy stuff. Oh, lordy, lordy, they do not mess about here. That is hot stuff, and I'm going to be getting right in there and piling into that. So, tripe time. I'm not going to mix it with that spice because it's still all over my tongue as it is. Nice, fresh, tender. I have to say they've worked wonders with this tripe because sometimes it can be a bit rubbery, but this, melt in the mouth stuff. Time for a few beans. I would say that that's quite similar actually to the beans you get in a Greek or Turkish meze. They're big boiled fava beans in a tomato sauce, obviously without the olive oil and all the other Mediterranean ingredients. Now the vegetables, the kale, lightly cooked crisp as it should be with a hint of garlic. So here we are. Now we ordered pork bone. The bone looks like an oxtail bone, but the meat actually, when I look at it close up, does look like pork. Only one way to find out though. That's pork. That has a beautifully rich meaty flavour, as always, because it's close to the bone. And I have to say, I had that spoonful of chilli about 5 mouthfuls ago, and it is still there, blazing away on my tongue. Anyway, you know what a nutter I am. I'm going back in to have some more. And because offal soaks up spice so well, I've mixed some in with the tripe. Let's hope I don't come to regret this. Yes, that did warm the cockles of my heart. Anyway, enough eating one-handed, enough gassing. We're going to get on with it. And we will be right back after we've polished the plate off, or as much of it as we can, because it is a big plate. So folks, I couldn't even come close to finishing that. It was described as a feast fit for a lion. Would have been a feast fit for Uncle Bob himself. Anyway, it was all delicious, slow-cooked joints of meat on the bone with beans, kale, and of course that viciously spicy sauce, and that local staple called sadza, which is extremely filling and I went very light on. I have other things to do today, otherwise I would have tried the local beer, but that'll come in a later vlog. Anyway, we have been given a hot tip about where we might find Uncle Bob again, so we're gonna go on the hunt for one last item. I think, Muttonistas, possibly the Holy Grail is within our grasp. Well, Muttonistas, after firing blanks, apart from getting the banknote early, we found the book at the art gallery, and it is a fantastic book if you look through the pages carefully. It is full of the history of Zimbabwe and Robert Mugabe, from the early independence struggle all the way through to the later years of his presidency, so I'm looking forward to reading that. But then the tip-off and phone call to Michael did actually bear fruit, and after a rather shifty-looking stop at a petrol station to pick somebody up to take us to a car park, wrapped in brown paper, we found the Holy Grail. Look at that little beauty. Now, I might have to air freight this home because it might not fit in my case, but that is a spectacular picture. So, Muttonistas, we did finally get that portrait of Robert Mugabe back home. It's in this DHL packaging, and we couldn't take the frame, or the people, my friends rather, who sent me the portrait couldn't send me the frame. And apart from the frame possibly containing insects, they are actually used to stash drugs and things sometimes, and when I took my frame photo from the India-Pakistan border back, that got smashed up by the security people and the customs, so that would have happened here. Before I removed the portrait from the packing tube, just a reminder folks, if you're not already subscribed, and yes I know I mention it in other parts of the video, please hit that subscribe button, and please like the videos wherever you can, and share them on other social media platforms. The more people who watch the videos, the more the channel grows, and of course that means I can take you all to a hell of a lot more places. Anyway, back to the tube. Here he comes. So I heard it said that these portrait photos, book, t-shirts, caps, everything should be to a penny, because every office and every public building had to have a portrait of Robert Mugabe hanging from it. Every billboard, or not every, but nearly every other billboard apparently used to have his portrait or his photo adorned on it. Not anymore. He's virtually disappeared, or not quite overnight, but it's only been a few years since he passed away, and these items have now become treasured collector's items. I thought it would have been easy to get these items, but it was actually pretty difficult. This is actually quite heavy and bulky. I can't carry it and film at the same time, so I've left it resting on a table. So, Muttonistas, the hunt for Uncle Bob has been an unqualified success. I do hope you enjoyed the video. There's more to come from Africa. Don't forget all my other exciting content, of course. I'm going to love you and leave you. Don't forget, as always, hit the like, the share and the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon. It keeps you informed of my new videos as soon as they come out. And above all, dear viewers, the one thing you should never forget, of course, is that you can't beat a bit of mutton.